Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video doing JMA Friday. As always on a Friday, we're having a detailed look at the weather for the month ahead. It's going to take us more or less through the whole of April. So the second month of the spring will be covered by this update. March, of course, has been a very warm month. Its temperature anomalies for March are running around 2 to 3 degrees above average. We'll see whether this is going to continue through April. Before I get on with that, though, just to say about what's coming up at GasWeatherVids very shortly, we're going to be teaming up with metcheck.co.uk Weather Instrumentation to launch a competition. Once again, this is the 4th year running that we've had a spring giveaway, and as I say, we're teaming up with metcheck.co.uk Weather Instrumentation on their website at the moment. If you want to go to Metcheck and buy your weather items, thermometers, anemometers, rain gauges, whatever, you can get to metcheck.co.uk Weather Instrumentation via GasWeatherVids links page, and you can get all of the items that you want to buy from them. But you won't need to buy this item that we're giving away, because it is going to be a giveaway. So from the 9th from the 9th of April through to the 16th through to Easter Sunday, we'll be giving a prize away, and you'll find out what that prize is and how you can enter the competition next week. So stay tuned for more detail on the giveaway at GasWeatherVids in association with metcheck.co.uk Weather Instrumentation. It's a very unique prize that giving away this time, very bespoke, and you'll be able to see more about it next week. Right, let's get on with JMA Friday. We're going to have a look at the 500 millibar heights, broken down into weekly periods from the North Pole down, first of all. So this is taking us from the 31st of March through to the 7th of April. Blue is low pressure, orange is high pressure, and this is what it's showing, a big ridge for the coming week close to the UK with low pressure up to the north. The jet stream is doing something like that. So it looks generally quite mild and settled for the coming week. Week 2 shows a change. We pull that area of above average heights out into the middle of the Atlantic, got below average heights to the northeast. The flow and the jet stream is on a northwest-southeast trajectory, so that does look like it could be quite a bit cooler. Not necessarily cold, we're not pulling down true Arctic air, but it looks cooler and it looks more unsettled. Weeks 3 and 4 look like this. Another change for the second half of April. So we have below average heights around Greenland. We have a ridge out to our west, and the flow is coming through like that. So you'd expect a fair amount of dry weather, and probably going back to fairly mild conditions as well in the second half of April. This is the tropical and mid-latitude view. The British Isles just here in the top right-hand corner of the chart. As you're looking at it, week 1, the coming week, the 31st of March to 7th of April, shows that we've got that area of high pressure close to the country. Precipitation for the coming week is drier than average, so we've got a dry week coming up for the start of April, and significantly warmer than average as well. Look at that, very mild week coming up from the 31st through to the 7th of the month. Week 2, which is the 7th to 14th of April, that one shows a change. We pull that area of above average heights out into the Atlantic. We're sending the jet stream on a northwest-southeast trajectory. So it's a cooler week coming up. We've got temperature anomalies there. They are close to average, so it's not cold. If you're a farmer or grower, don't be too alarmed. It doesn't look like it's going significantly cold on average, but it's around a 2 to 3 degree temperature drop from what we have in week 1. So obviously temperatures are significantly cooler there through that second week of April. The precipitation anomaly looks wetter than average to the north, a little bit drier than average down in the south. It's a more changeable week, most definitely. And then weeks 3 and 4, which is the 14th, 28th of March, that has the area of above average heights just to our west. There's not a lot to go on, really, not a lot to go on in terms of what the signal is from the model, but I think high pressure is probably coming back at some point throughout the second half of April. The temperature anomaly, that one looks near normal, and precipitation looks drier than average pretty much for all parts of the country. So the idea is we start off April on a warm and dry note, we go cooler and more changeable for the second week of the month, and then we go back to drier and probably milder weather in the second half of the month. What about the CFS V2? These are 500 millibar heights. Again, they're broken down into weekly periods. The first week period takes us from the 31st of March to the 6th of April. In agreement with the JMA for this week, we've got high pressure, above average heights, very much anchored close to the UK, and many parts of Europe are under that ridge of high pressure as well. Week 2, this is when the JMA wants to produce something cooler and more unsettled. The CFS is close to it, above average heights in the middle of the Atlantic, and a trough through Scandinavia. The difference is that we've still got above average heights to our south. So the flow of the jet stream is doing something a little bit like that. It means that we're still sort of under a south-southwesterly influence with the air. So it is likely with that one to still be fairly mild. And for the south, quite dry. For the north, will be a little bit more unsettled. Week 3, which is the 14th through 20th of April, this one's cooler and more unsettled. So the CFS does get there to where the JMA is in the second week of the month, just a little bit delayed. Have above average heights through the middle of the Atlantic. A trough is through the UK, that looks quite unsettled. I mean, another ridge is over Eastern Europe. It means that the jet stream does something a bit like that. So we're placed on the cool side of the jet with that one, and we're close to a trough. It would be more unsettled, albeit it's delayed compared to the JMA, but mid-month looks cooler and more unsettled with both of these models. And then week 4, which is the 21st, 27th of April, this one looks rather odd. We've got above average heights centering to our north there. Otherwise, not a huge amount to go on, but there's probably some troughiness there. And this ridge may be inflating down to the south again. So I think overall we're probably dragging up milder air once more from the south-southwesterly direction. Temperature anomalies for the next week are very significantly milder than average for us, as they are through most parts of Europe. Week 2 temperature anomalies, this is when the JMA is cooler. CFS is still very mild, in fact quite warm, I would have thought, through that week. However, week 3 does show that the temperature begins to cool down. This is the 14th to the 20th of April, where the temperature anomaly is back to average. So again, it's the same idea as a JMA. It's not going cold. If you're a grower or a farmer, you don't need to be too worried at this stage about what these models are doing. It's around a 2 to 3 degree drop in temperature, back to average from a very warm level that we're starting off at, but it isn't significantly colder than average. Nevertheless, it will be quite a shock to go back down to average temperatures after how much warmth we've had recently. But then in week 4, this is 21st through 27th of April, temperatures are going back significantly milder than average again. So any cooler or unsettled interlude looks like to be pretty short-lived. Precipitation anomalies for the next month, week 1, is actually close to average, and you would have thought that's likely to be quite dry, so I think the CFS might be overdoing the rainfall there a little bit. I would have thought with a ridge close to the UK, that would be likely to be pretty dry through that first week of April. Week 2 also looks drier than average. That's what you'd expect to see for week 1. Really. So I think between the models, it looks like we're going to have a fairly dry start to April. Then, of course, we begin to lose a signal in week 3, the 14th to 20th of April. You'll notice there's just lots of white there. So I think the signal is weakening there. And then we go through to week 4 again. I think pretty weak signals. I suspect during that cooler period which CFS is placing in the 3rd week of April, it would likely be a little bit wetter. I mean, it probably goes drier in the final week of the month. So there's a little bit of disagreement between these two models in terms of timing, but they're broadly in the same ballpark in terms of the overall idea. So the first period of April, the first week or so, looks like you're going to have a lot of dry weather, very warm temperature anomaly is possible again, and lots of high pressure. Sometime around the second or the third week, depending on which model you take, it could be between those 2 weeks, so the end of the second week into the third week, something like that. But sometime around the middle of the month, we get a cooler, more changeable interlude, and then we go into the second half of April, and we probably see pressure recovering. We probably go warmer and drier again and finish up basically back where we started. And overall, you would suspect that's going to come out as a milder and drier than average month once again. Of course, the gas weather this April forecast is going to be released very shortly. It'll either be Sunday or Monday, so you'll be able to find out then what we are forecasting for April. Right, that's all for now. Weekend forecast tomorrow, so come back for that. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.